Firstly, I want to thank the censor board. Thank you so much for once again trying to spoil the impact of a movie by taking out 38 seconds of one of the wildest movies of 2026. That too from the most important, craziest scene. So thank you so much, censor board, for all your work and all your service. But to everyone else who is watching this, if you've heard of this new movie called Obsession, and if you wanted to watch it, and if you have some friend telling you, bro, the movie is heavily censored in the theaters, let's just wait for it to drop on OTT, we'll watch it at home, ignore that friend. Please do not listen to them. Movies like The Obsession are the reason why movie theaters were created. They are the reason why there is a concept called a collective experience. This is a movie that you have to watch with 200, 300, 500 people in a packed theater, just feeling every beat, every sound, every laugh, every shock right in your soul. But why? Why is this random horror film so impactful, and why should you watch it only in a packed theater? I'm not someone who likes horror movies. In fact, it's one of my least favorite genres to watch. I avoid them as much as possible. I'll tell you why later. But this film, it impacted me so much that I think it's my duty to share what I felt with you, to make more and more people watch this movie. And I'm going to do my best not to talk anything about exactly what happens in the movie. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers, but I want to describe why Obsession is so different from other horror movies. What is the emotion that this movie plays on? What's the feeling of watching this movie and after watching it? And why this film is so important in today's context. First things first, like I said, I do not like horror movies. Not because I get scared of them, but 95% of the horror movies that I've seen, they operate on the same exact template. Same old shit, same ghosts with the same old makeup, same cheap horror tricks, same jump scares. But some movies try to do something different in the horror space, which I look forward to. Movies like Hereditary, Weapons, Get Out, even Sinners to a certain extent. These movies try to do something beyond the usual jump scare stuff. They try to offer some perspective. They try to get you invested in the world of the film and make you remember the film long after it's finished. But generally, most horror films are very, very plot driven. It's all about the setting, the story, the mystery, the ghost. But as an audience, when I'm watching such movies, I'm just watching it for the story and just waiting for the next shock to come or for the next plot twist to come. And after coming out of such movies, I just forget these movies completely, move on with the rest of my life. They have no impact on my system. But the first thing that makes Obsession so different is that it's character driven. Right from the first shot, I got drawn into this world because of the main character. Almost as if I'm entering a love story. I immediately felt connected to this character because at some point, I think I've been this character. We all have. He looks like this Pavam guy. He has a very, very simple wish in his life, and I just want him to get what he wants. Big mistake. Maybe sometimes in life, you should not always get what you want. As the movie goes forward, you start realizing that this guy that you felt connected to, he's not the Pavam guy that you think he is, and that's when it starts getting fun. Because of this situation that he gets himself into, the movie goes back and forth between extreme tension and extreme fun. Very weird combination, but that's why this film feels so unique. I don't think I've laughed this much in a horror film ever. But the main anchor of this film is the female character, and instead of giving spoilers about her, what exactly she does or what happens to her, let me tell you the emotion that she represents. If you're not from Tamil Nadu, there is this reality show called Niya Nana, which roughly translates to Me or You. This is basically a public debate show that happens every week, and in every episode there's this new topic, and the format of the show is such that there is this host called Gopinath. He's very, very famous in our state. He mediates a debate between two sides of the audience. For example, 2 months ago, there was this special episode, very, very viral episode, which was about the concept of breakups. On one side, you had the youth who have just gone through a breakup, and on the other side, you have their parents who are trying to make sense of the situation, what they feel about relationships, and how hard it is for them to see their children go through so much pain so early in their life. Very, very interesting episode. You have to watch it. But the standout part of the episode was this girl from the youngster section who was called Yamini, who spoke about her story that made everyone in the audience, in the live audience as well as the TV audience, everyone just felt for her. So long story short, Yamini was in this long-term serious relationship with this guy. I forgot how long they dated, but it was a long-term relationship. And after some time, for whatever reason, the guy wanted to end things. Usually, according to what we see in most movies, it is the guy who suffers a lot after the breakup, who can't get over the breakup, who starts drinking, enters depression and all of that. But here, the girl was so much in love with him that she changed everything about herself, cut off with a lot of her friends, her family, made her entire life about this guy. She just existed for him, and when he wanted to end things, she couldn't come to terms with it, and she says in the episode that it's been 8 months since that happened and she's not able to recover from that pain. She keeps calling him, still waiting for him to come back, hoping that things get fixed, that he realizes her importance, but she doesn't realize that it's never going to happen. That's what everyone in the crowd, even the host, tells her, that she has to move on, but she is still waiting. I thought maybe this Yamini story is a one-off thing, but as I thought more and more about it, I've actually seen this happen around me with a few women that I know. Maybe not as serious as this girl, but it's happened. Now take this emotion, add a psychological horror element to it, and what you get is this modern masterpiece called Obsession. And I know that this film is special because I don't remember the last time I felt so much, thought so much, spoke so much about a horror film. And if you're someone who is tired of being single and wants to enter a relationship, just watch this film. You will be super happy that you're still single. But the real anchor of this film, like I said, is the female character of the film, mainly because of the way she's written, but more importantly because of the way she has been performed. The film works so much because of this incredible performance by this actress, this young actress called Indy Navarrete. I'm sure I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but one day everyone will remember her name. Whatever award is there right now in the world, put everything in a single bag, keep it ready for award season, because this girl, she's going to eat everything up. How she hooks you in the first few minutes just because of her vibe, her casual vibe, and then the complete contrast that she brings into her character for the rest of the film, which escalates and escalates and escalates, gets into places that you never thought it will go to. She also has this peculiar expressive face, and every time I close my eyes, I can only see her, and her performance made me feel so hard for this character. And once again, when was the last time we spoke about performance in a horror film? Very, very rare. I don't know if you guys have felt this, but every now and then I have this dream or a nightmare where it feels so hyper real that even while I'm sleeping, I know that I'm dreaming, and to come out of that dream, I'm trying to shake my body physically to wake up, or I'm trying my best to make some noise from my mouth so I can wake my wife up. And that's what this film also feels like, because it's so tense, so anxiety-inducing. It feels like being stuck in a nightmare that you want to wake up from. I was literally trying to hold my susu in. I felt like I just wanted to go home from the theater, but at the same time, I also didn't want to leave because I was having so much fun. In one moment, I was feeling my body just tense up, and in the other moment, I was laughing. And the interval point. Usually, English films or foreign films don't have an interval. In India, we take those films, the theaters usually cut the films in half, force-fitting an interval just so that they can make some money from their overpriced popcorn and Pepsi. But here, even if the interval is forcefully added, it comes at a point that is so perfect, just peak, that you don't even want to go out. You just want to wait in your seat until the movie comes back on just to see how crazier this film can get. And once the film was over, as I was walking from the screen to the parking lot to my car, I felt my body kind of shake, like I was vibrating, not because of fear, but because of the impact that I can't even explain. And then I sat in the car, I turned on the car, and suddenly music started playing, and that scared the shit out of me. This was 6:30 in the evening, it wasn't even night yet. I felt my heart in my mouth and I just started laughing. This kind of a feeling you will never get while watching a film, a horror film at home. Apart from the crazy performances and this intense character-driven writing, this director called Curry Barker, there is just so much patience in his storytelling, in his shots. There are these long shots that just go on without any cuts, which makes the experience so much more tense. There are very, very few jump scares, but the ones that are there, for example, there is the scene in the first half of the film, in the earlier part of the film, there's a moment where a character realizes something, and in the same shot there's like a jump scare that comes out of nowhere. You feel, god damn, this director's a genius. And also, this was Indy's first scene that she shot, and she shot it in a single take. I also really loved how this director created these really creepy character movements. I don't know how he thought of creating that visual. There is something that he does by removing these frames in edit which adds so much creepiness to the scene. How he used shadows by placing characters in shadows by just having one tiny light in their eyes, almost as if you're watching a cat or an animal in the darkness. And the crazy sound design that you can feel in your stomach. It feels like this director is a master who's been making movies for centuries. But fun fact, this is just Curry Barker's second feature film and he's just 26 years old. I feel so small right now. This is a guy who got discovered through YouTube. He made this film on a budget of less than $1 million. The film entered a bidding war and it got picked up for distribution rights at $15 million, and now it's crossing $100 million worldwide at the box office and is just going bigger and bigger, packed shows everywhere including Chennai. And next he's making another horror film with Jesse Pinkman himself, Aaron Paul, and he's setting that film in the same universe as Obsession. This is a new era in cinema where YouTubers are killing it. There are so many YouTubers from the US who are now entering the feature film space and introducing new forms of storytelling with the same old genres. I read somewhere that the budget of Obsession is like 1/16th of the budget of a song in a Shankar film. No offense to Shankar, but this is what most of our Indian producers are doing, spending huge crores of money on nepo kids who don't really know how to act or speak the language, creating vanity projects that no one really wants to watch. But my question to these producers is, why can't we spend a little more time on just spotting young talent and spend a fraction of the money that you usually spend on all these other films and let these young YouTubers or creators make fresh films that truly entertain the audience, that the audience feels like, damn, this is cinema. Okay, at this point, I just wanted to highlight one thing from this tweet that I saw from Teja Karlapudi. He says, I feel like Obsession is doing for Hollywood, especially the horror genre, what Little Hearts did for the Telugu film industry. A small budget film, a new director, and massive collections with word of mouth publicity. So Little Hearts is a very, very rare example in the Indian space where producers spotted this talent from the YouTube creator space and it really, really paid off. But we need to see more of this. I'm so obsessed with this film. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop talking about it. It's such a great feeling of watching a film and then going deep down into reading more and more about the film, about how the film was made, more about the director, the actors and all of that. It's such a great feeling. I can't wait to show it to as many people as possible and see their reactions as if I've made this film. And if you've already watched the movie, let's discuss it in the comments. And if you've not watched the movie, what are you still doing here? Just go.